Cool. Here we go. Here we go.
Yes, we are live again. It's Wednesday.
We're coming to the final part of the NFT
Serious.
series.
Yeah. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, but unfortunately, people in Metaverse are so busy that they didn't.
They don't even respond.
They didn't even find 20 minutes to. They didn't even find 1 minute to respond to our request. So that's why we are running it without anyone's help tonight. But that's fine. We have our own expert in NFT, and it's Zayne. So I don't see reason why we should be worried about the lack of the presence of of some other expert. So tell us, Zayne, what are we going to talk about tonight?
Yeah. So today we don't have somebody. We were going to ask about people, how do they start, etc. But because we don't have anyone, so I thought, you know what? Let's talk about something that most people, when they're just hearing about NFTs, and this is the thing that I think I want to talk about. One of the biggest reason why you should not get into NFT. Everyone's like, oh yeah, get into NFT, this, and that. I want to talk about why you should not get into it. And I think it's as equally important to know why you should and why you shouldn't, right? So like I put out a few sort of, if people are listening, I will try to verbalize it, but if people are watching on YouTube, you will see that there's lots of news about, how there are two 20-year-olds charged in alleged $1.1 million NFT scam. So they're there to scam people off, right? Look at that artwork. They're there to scam people. They were arrested on Thursday, actually. So there's a fraud going on. And then there are lots of articles that says, are NFTs a scam or a digital bubble? Lots of articles, headlines saying NFTs are not art. They're just the cult of crypto's latest scam. Oh my God, wow. It's quite strong words. Even Fortune, right? The Fortune magazine says the NFT bubble is showing clear signs of bursting, basically saying that this bubble will burst. And then if you look at another article on Reuters, it's also saying NFT sales surge as speculators pile in, skeptics see bull. But there's lots of people who are piling in, like NFTs as a market in its own is still growing. Yes, it has slowed down a little bit, but it's still getting lots of eyeballs, etc. And this leads me to want to talk about, like, if you think about NFTs, if you hear people talk about it, it's very important to know why does this actually interest you? I don't think people talk about that enough. And if you look at some other articles, right, some headlines like this one, for example, says why NFT is not just another bubble, but a new stage of evolution. And then CNBC also says something like crypto investors see looming NFT bubble, but tot staying power of the underlying tech. So people do get in because of the money, etc. But once they understand the technology that goes behind it, people actually stay. So let me just take that off. So for me, I think, it'd be interesting to hear what you say, but when you think about going into NFTs, if you're just in there for the money, or you're thinking, I'm going to do a quick flip, I'm going to earn a lot of money, like some people, I just buy this and it becomes a 6-figure or 5-figure NFT, it's not going to happen. So I think if people go into NFT just because they think I'm going to make money out of buying a JPEG, or I'm going to do this, it's not going to work. And guess why people say that? Because people have the conception that they think if they buy this one thing, it'll become a 5-figure. So when they buy it, it didn't turn 5-figure, it went to 0, and then they go, this thing is shit, this thing doesn't work, NFT is a scam, NFT is a bubble. It's all like blaming them rather than looking back at themselves to go, why did I make that investment decision? So for me, if people want to get into NFT, it's like investing in a startup company. You need to give a startup company years. Like, let's say, if I give you the opportunity to invest in Amazon on Apple 15 years ago, would you do it? You'll be like, yeah, I'll buy shitload of their stocks, because you look back and then you go, I know that they'll become major stocks. But at that time, they also went through 2000 where they had the dot-com bubble and most of the tech stocks like dropped 80-90%. But people who stayed got through it because they believe in the technology, they believe in internet, they stayed. So I think if people got into NFT, they have to really understand why is it they want to get into it. Is it because just for money, or is it because you would like the technology, you buy things that you like? It's just like buying a pair of shoes, for example. You buy it not because you're going to make 5 figures the next day, but because you like that pair of shoes and then you like to run in it. So I guess, Dan, spinning the question back onto you, when you first hear about NFTs, etc., I know that until this stage you're still quite like skeptical, etc.,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, there are many different, let's say, facets to metaverse, to NFTs. And I'm thinking, like, on one hand we have, for example, NFT which has some value to it, let's say, like, although this value is very intangible, and I will explain later on why it is intangible, and even worse, because there are some things that intangible, but still you can, let's say, put an actual figure to it, put an actual value to it. You can predict some value to it. With NFT, it's loads of speculation, right? But I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, if people are buying, let's say, so have you ever heard about selling, like, uh, custom skins to weapons on
Yes.
Counter
On
Strike?
games. Yeah.
Yeah, on games like Counter Strike, and people
Yeah.
are paying like thousands of dollars for it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's crazy, right? So if people are buying this, so I don't see reason why people shouldn't buy NFTs, because
Exactly.
NFTs, maybe not all of them, but most of them, are at least trying to create value for the owners. Uh, and of course there is, like, probably small percentage, you would say, right, that actually create value to it. But you mentioned, like, investing in NFT should be like investing in startups, right? But the thing with startups is that when you have a startup, you expect startup to make certain output, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. So they are producing something, whether it's a product or a service, but there is some kind of a value to it, because when it's a product, you have a physical thing, right? When it's a service, you will have, I don't know, a manpower of people, you will have a certain outcome of the service that you are using, that you are buying from a startup. And even if it's a mobile app, and you invest in a startup that is creating a mobile app, maybe this mobile app will be producing money for the investors from marketing, let's say, from advertising in an app. So then, uh, how some of NFT projects are gonna produce value, return on investment for the holders? Like, for me, it's very unclear in many NFT
Ways.
projects.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I guess it's a, let's say, success factor that differentiates between crap NFT projects and amazing NFT projects. Like, for example, how I saw Bored Ape
Yacht
Yacht.
Club. Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
was, I see this project about network, actually. So like, translating this famous saying of your network is your net worth, right? So I would say, like, the net worth of a single NFT that you hold from Bored Apes Yacht Club, then probably is your network, right? So like the representation of the value of a single NFT from this project represents how much you will get from the network that is there in this project, right? But I guess probably there are loads of NFT projects that don't have this, let's say, high profile network in them, right? So if you can explain me that, what are some other ways that NFT projects can produce real life, maybe real life is not a good term, but maybe some,
Tangible.
maybe not tangible, but uh, mm, mm, value that you will actually feel, that will make a change in your life, that will solve some problem or add some benefits to your life. Can you explain it to me, like what are other ways?
Yeah, I think you actually have a really good insight into this, which is like what is the value that you want an NFT project to really give you. And the question or the thing is, value means different things to different people, right? There are some people, like you said early on, some NFT projects will really invest the time in creating a gaming sort of space. So people who like to play games, they will have an NFT project for that. Some people may like something in real life. So I'm in some NFT projects at the moment where they really focus on apparels, like real life apparels. Like there's a project that I follow, it's a Paris brand, and then they create like high quality apparel. So I was like, oh yeah, that's quite cool. I also like what Adidas has been doing. You know, I tried to buy one, but it's so expensive now that I don't know how to do it. But Adidas has been partnered with Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, to create an Adidas NFT. And who knows, maybe going forward, every Adidas shop you go to, they will have a special closed off area only for NFT holders, right? And I quite like it because I like Adidas as a brand. I quite like its youthful sort of style, colorful, energetic. And that's great. So for me, those are the values that I'm looking for. Similar to like what you say, I'm looking for what can I get. I'm more thinking about real life, like tangible stuff that I can touch on that this NFT project can give me. But at the same time, I also look at, okay, going forward in future, what do these creators have in plan? So for example, not only is what can I get in real life, I also look at who is the team that's behind this. Now I'll put my hands up. Sometimes I get too much hype. I look at a project that's got so much hype, I buy into it, and obviously I lost my money, right? It's just going to happen. In fact, I would say probably 60, 70% of the money that I put into NFT, which is crazy. Obviously, the market is super low at the moment, and some may not survive, but most of them have been developing behind the scenes, although it's slowly but surely they are developing. So that's great. You know that there's a team behind it, they're still working on it. It might take them some time, right? But it might take them 5 years, 6 years, but when you look back, they might create very amazing things. So for me, the value is that I look for certain things like the team behind it. I look for what real life values I can get in the very short term, so because I can then measure to see whether they're actually delivering on what they promised they would do. But more importantly, is that I invest with money that I can lose. Yes, I don't like to lose it, but I can lose. And also, my investment horizon is at least 3 years and above. So that means I'm not expecting it to go 3x the next day. I'm not expecting it to go 100x in 2 weeks' time. I'm giving it time to do what it's meant to do because it's a startup. You know, you and I start the business. We know how difficult it is to build an audience, a business, get the money, and all this sort of stuff. So you need to give it time to breathe and learn and die a bit and then rebirth. It's just part of the business cycle. It's not going to all smooth. So for me, I think you're going back to what we're saying is that what is the biggest reason you should not invest is that if you're only in it for the money, forget about it. You might as well miss the boat because you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to have fun. And Yeah, that's what my thinking is that it really depends on what you want to get out of it. If you're just in it for the money, sure, give it a go. You might be lucky, you might get one or two that really makes it. But majority of the time, you're not going to get an NFT, or because there'll be more experienced people who will know what those NFTs are, and then they'll front run you before you know it.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but at the same time, it's really hard. It's still very very hard for me to I would say digest it and to
Yeah.
really
Would-
like maybe it's about also acceptance of that. Okay, that's what actually people like, and we
like,
need to like uh, acknowledge the fact that it's gonna be part of our lives in the future.
mm.
Uh,
I'm curious. Like, I know that you're not in it at the moment, but you're actually quite well educated on it. But do you believe, like you just mentioned, like NFT might be a future? Do you think NFT will be part of our future going forward?
um, yes, but I think that it will not be as big part of our future as some people imagine,
Okay.
because I think that some people who are in favor of NFT and also people who are against NFTs, some people imagine that we will start partially living in metaverse, that we will
Mm,
give up some part of our life in favor of metaverse life, right?
mm,
So for
mm,
example, that we will let's say we have like, I don't know, 16 hours in a day, because we have 8 hours for sleep, right? So that we will spend, I don't know, 4 out of the 16 hours in metaverse or something like that. I think that this will not happen, but how I envision the future of NFT, I envision it in a way that technology of NFT will might replace some services that we have now. So what you mentioned, that for example the like exclusive areas of shops for NFT holders.
mm.
So for example, how I see it is that NFTs may replace like loyalty
Loyalty
cards.
cards. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing. Or we talked about, that some of the car manufacturer brand like BMW or Audi are planning to is planning to introduce NFT as a service history book or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I guess maybe we will find more things like that to really uh, that
Verify the use case, I guess.
to maybe uh, that will actually make some value for us
Mm,
in real life, because how I see it with, for example, NFTs as service history book is that, when you sell a car, then you will just, you know this NFT of service history book will go from your, let's say, wallet to someone else's wallet because they bought a car from you, right?
mm, mm.
That makes sense. Like, you don't have to send any file, you don't have to look for any
Yeah.
paper in your I
Older.
don't know, folder or
Yeah.
something. If you are selling it abroad, it makes even more sense, because I believe that, for example, the system for, let's say, BMW in Poland is the same for all dealerships, but
Mm,
it might be not integrated with system for dealerships in Germany, let's say. So if you sell, a car from one country to another country, they will just get an NFT. They will get a service history book with it. Maybe some things like that. Maybe. So storage of information, I would say that's
Definitely.
and overwriting data on NFT. That's one thing, and another thing, exclusivity, creating exclusivity
Yeah.
for clients. That's
Yeah.
probably two best purposes that I can think of for NFTs right now. They will be, but so they will make our lives a bit easier, or maybe a bit more digitalized, I would say, but it will not be like it will not be something that will turn our lives upside down, I would
Yeah.
say.
I heard a colleague mention this to me today. So I'll ask you this question and see if you like it. Chelsea is your favorite football team, right?
Yeah, but right now it's really hard to be proud of Chelsea at the moment because of the whole thing around Roman Abramovich, right?
Oh yeah, but Chelsea is your favorite football team, right? If
Yeah, that's true.
Chelsea says they're gonna launch an NFT for, I don't know, $100 each, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
do I don't know, 5,000 of them. And then if you're an NFT holder, you get preferred sittings, you get discounted price, you get exclusive merchandise, you might even get like an annual event where you get to hang out with some of the football
Footballers.
stars. Yeah. Would you then say I'm willing to give this a go?
It depends, I would say, because
Really? Okay.
because like it's I haven't been to London for so long, so it's very unlikely that I will use it for Chelsea. But let's assume that the same thing will be made for the local team here in Gdańsk, so Lechia Gdańsk, right? And actually, I attended like 5 or 6 games this season for Lechia Gdańsk, which is quite a lot, I would say. And I would say it depends. It really depends on the price, If I
If you can afford it, you will. Is that what we're saying?
It's not only about afford it, because
Okay.
it's to some extent it's my flaw, the fact that I'm trying to be very rational person when it comes to my purchasing decisions,
Okay.
even
Fair enough.
even with such stupid things like clothing, for example. My girlfriend is like, she likes something and she buys it.
No. I think that's just girls in general.
And I'm like, but okay, girls in general, right? But I guess some guys are
Maybe like that.
like that as well, that they like something, they just buy it. And for me it's like, okay, I like it, but I will think it over like 3 to 5 times before I buy it. Like,
Wow, okay.
I can go go and think about it for days before I buy it, so that's the type of person I am. I tend
Interesting.
not to make rash purchasing decisions, or
Well, that is very
maybe
rational.
maybe it's a matter of disposal income. Maybe if I will have greater disposal income, I will make the decisions faster. But at the same time, I'm trying to make rational purchasing decisions. I'm not. I'm really thinking about things.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's a good point, which is, to finish off what we were talking about, is that people should just see NFT like buying anything else. Like buying a t-shirt, like
Yeah.
buying a pair of shoes, like buying, let's say you buy a Supreme, for example, that is very expensive because that probably what an NFT would cost. People should just see it that way, because if that is the way that you try to see NFTs and you're not just seeing as an investment, then you likelihood is that you are going to be making better decisions in deciding which project to go into, etc. So they shouldn't just buy anything in random, and they should see it more rationally and treat it just as any other commodities that you would buy. So I think that is the mindset that people should take when it gets to NFT. That's for sure.
Yes, I agree with you. Definitely.
Cool.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Okay.
Great episode tonight. Thank
It's
you
very good.
for sharing your thoughts with us, Zayne. And
It's good to exchange ideas.
yeah, it's always great to exchange ideas. And that's an end. That's an end to our small, let's say, NFT blog on our weekly broadcast. Next week we'll come to you with something
New. Yes.
we will
Time to change something.
we will discuss it tomorrow what it's gonna be, but definitely it's gonna be exciting because we are putting extra work to it, extra touch to it, to make it as exciting as it is possible for you.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Your phone's ringing.
Yeah, it's my
Your alarm.
it's my reminder to take my medications for my allergy. So
yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that then. Cool.
All right, have a good night, everyone, and follow us on Instagram and listen to our previous episodes on Spotify and Apple podcast.
Yes, amazing. See you, everybody.